Alright, preemptive here. Preemptive trigger warning here if you are grossed by mouth stuff. Mute your chat. If you are grossed by mouth stuff. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. So, while I was dealing with all this nonsense at the dentist, they had to put like a spacer between two of my teeth because that's where the filling was. And it is killing me right now. No joke. Alright, 3, 2, 1, go. By the way, grossly underrated music in this game. It's very cool. The other day we did a run of this for world record, and I died one jump before the final boss. That's where I game over. So this music should be bringing back all the 90s nostalgia, and then some. Slight optimization there. You can jump. That's another thing about this game. You can't jump up ladders. In the Genesis version, you can. It's just one of the ways that, like, the Genesis version is clearly superior. Those jumps didn't work the way I wanted them to. But any Hulk game where you get to start out as Hulk, you don't have to earn a power-up, quality game in my book. Alright, we're gonna go with a safety strat here. We're gonna Hulk up. It's weird, there are levels of Hulk. And now we're hulked up, which means we walk faster, we jump higher, all that good stuff. There are also special moves you can do, but they tend to not want to work on the Super Nintendo. Haven't figured out why. Elevators, if they don't cooperate, the run can be over pretty quickly. This game is very cool about having multiple paths, and I really like it for that reason. Like, if we went down in that last little area, we would never see any of this. You don't have to do this to beat the levels. Extra life over there. Because it's big on just having it be like, you walk off the screen, you find something else. Yeah, sometimes the jumps, though, don't want to cooperate. Because some things are solid, some things aren't. Huh? All together? I'm running, so I can't do anything right now. Don't reset the internet. Because mine doesn't say I'm offline. Oh yeah, it does. Tell people I'm still here. Oh, don't reset then, bae. I believe you. Ah! Okay, well, cool. Run's still alive then. Shoutouts to Alice for stopping in. Now this run will absolutely world record because I'll have to put it on YouTube. And it'll have that whole dialogue in there. I was gonna say, I'm not dropping any frames. So I honestly had no idea what was going on. I mean, our download speed may have fallen apart. I don't know. But yeah, I'm not dropping any frames. So that's how you beat that guy up. You just punch him in the face a bunch. That's basically how every enemy works in this game. You punch them in the face a bunch and they explode. We should be coming up on the first boss here pretty soon. start doing that again. If you're in chat, please subscribe so that I know you're still in chat. That would go well. Alright, that's looking good. Wait. No, that's not an alternate route. Skip. That's what happened to me once. Got into a fight, got exploded. Well, he was a robot guy, that's why. Oh wait, that's the wrong way. Making progress. Okay, now we're at the first boss. Which actually, this guy takes a little bit of, like, paying attention to. Because if you look at that timer up there, it's a very precise timer. And if you don't do this fight, like, almost perfect, you run out of time. And if you run out of time, it's game over. It's not even like restart the fight or you die. It's game over. And in the Genesis version of this game, that's a little bit better off, it's a lot easier to do, like, uppercuts on this guy. You can do way more attacks that do a lot more damage. But on the SNES version, you just have to punch him. And hope you don't run out of time. Which, so far, so good. Famous last words. I was about to say. Okay. Because you see how long these cycles take. And we only missed maybe 3. He's down to 16 seconds there. Skip, because the only way you can use the guns is if you transform into Bruce Banner form. And you don't want to not be the Incredible Hulk. Everybody wants to be the Incredible Hulk. You don't want to be normal mode. Thanks, Darkins. Hopefully you had a good night, dude. Thank you for the bits. Thanks for stopping by. By the way, this is a great example of why I'm trying to evolve into running some more hype games. Because everything here was super lit. We were running Super Mario World. And we dial it down a little bit with some funky... Wait. We dial it down a bit with some funky Incredible Hulk. And everyone's got somewhere to be. I'm missing. Where is it? Avenger friends, what's up? How are my Avenger friends? Oh, there it is. You have to find and punch the faces on the wall to open that part up. And that's one that I keep consistently forgetting. Like, I just forget where that face is. Because it blends in with the rest of my TV. And you can just toss enemies aside, which makes it an awesome game. It's dinner time for most people. You're right, Skip. I'm just thinking about how nice it would be to be able to eat right. So the game just assumes you'll know that you're supposed to break that and punch that face. The game wants you to stumble around as the Incredible Hulk and just punch walls. And that's the one area where this game struggles, is it requires you to have a lot of knowledge that you would never just reasonably come upon. So it's like one of those games that was built to sell guides, more so than it was to sell the actual game. Because you'd buy this for your kid and they get frustrated within 10 seconds, not realizing they had to stumble all over the universe to try and find things. Alright. Another perfect example of that is coming up. It's a little bit later in this level, but perfect example of it. Oh, did I miss? No, I didn't miss the extra life. We hulked up, though. That's good. So World 1 of this game is ridiculously hard, because if you don't know to just toss enemies aside and run through them, like, they will kill you, because they do fair amounts of damage. It's just most of the time you get to them before they get a chance to get an attack off. But yeah, if you don't know that you can just pick enemies up and run through them, you die a lot in World 1. So the game decides to compensate for that by having a bunch of extra lives in World 2. By the way, unless you find a continue in this game, it doesn't have continues. Well, Avenger, that's one of the big differences between the SNES and the Genesis version of this game. Is the Genesis version of this game has a move that you can pretty consistently do. I actually did the clap there for the first time. Yeah, see? I'm doing the inputs for a couple things there, and he's not doing any of them. Because it's just kind of how he operates on the SNES version. It's the slower speedrun by far. Although the best Genesis time I've seen that someone's actually submitted that wasn't just randomly submitted for them was like 1 hour and 20 minutes. And the estimate for this, I would say, is about 40. This game doesn't take that long to beat. And that's even with my kind of bumbling and stumbling in some parts. You just charge through the level with that guy. And yeah, Hulk is in Egypt. I'm not entirely sure why. I feel like it's probably better explained in the game, or in the actual thing. He's moving faster now because he's hulked up. You have to find a pill that makes him hulk up, and when he does, he runs faster. And he gets the 1-2 punch instead of the singular. Again, the game assuming you will try to throw jump punches, because if you swing at the bottom there, they don't blow up. Like, this game was just designed to frustrate kids. Which I guess isn't a horrible premise, it's just kind of an easy one. And the jumps. Oh, the jumps. You cannot run and jump at the same time. Oh, we de-hulked. Because every time you jump, he does that vertical jump thing. And then sometimes the game just decides that you don't get to make moves. Oh, you're gonna have to be way more specific, Skip. That could be anything. Oh. I knew it! I'm not sure where I screwed that up, but I knew that was gonna happen. I'm legit not sure where I messed that up. Oh, I forgot to hit that face. That face was the correct answer to the puzzle. The game has a lot of those instant death traps in them. And I saw that one coming from a mile away. But I couldn't remember what the correct solution was. See, that guy, you beat him up and he turns to stone. He doesn't explode. You gotta jump, Hulk. Attaboy. Now, the way I've seen this fight done that doesn't involve using Hulk is you use one of your green pills to transform into Bruce Banner, and then you fire at him a bunch. But in the SNES game, again, in the Genesis game, you have unlimited ammo when you pick up a gun with David Banner. In the SNES game, you run out of ammo, you have 2 shots. And every one of your shots does that much damage, just as much damage as the punch does. So there's no point to it. Oh, Page Master. Yeah, you're thinking of Page Master, Skip. That game's a bit of a mess. And I found out later that there was someone who's already speedrun it, like a bunch. And so it was kind of like, alright, well this is not... It wasn't a game that I picked up, and I ended up booting it as far as the World Record Challenge goes. By the way, we are 2 records off pace. So I need to pick some of those up pretty soon. Which, I've got plenty of games I can pick them up in. Just need to do it. There were a bunch of games, Kitsune. The only reason I knew was because in the VHS for Page Master, they had a commercial for the video game as part of the previews on the VHS. And they made it look so cool. And it was not. It was a mess. Well, normally, I'm hulked up here. But that's okay. He has never given me this much trouble before. Because normally he just falls down and you punch him. So this is very similar to like a GDQ style run now, because I'm just sitting here like, that's never happened. Okay, we got him. Fortunately, he doesn't get a lot of health. Skip, what part are you saying seriously to? Because whatever part you're saying seriously to, the answer is yes. I'm just not sure why the answer is yes. This music, though. This music is hype. New route strats. I don't think I've gone this way before. Oh wait, there's a hanging extra life up here. There's something up here. And it doesn't hurt to practice those jumps anyway. Because they are very difficult. Oh, you can hulk up, but we were already hulked up. No worries, Kitsune. Sorry, because it's an actual, like, because it's a run, I'm slightly focused on it. I've been a little bit scatterbrained tonight. Someone surprised NyQuil and made him sleepy. I suppose. I mean, I think this game's pretty cool. Especially at least, like, because when you're hulked up at least, it's not terribly slow. It's still, a blah pace. But it's not as blah as it could be. Because we go through these levels without taking a whole lot of damage. Oh, your friend is offline. I'm sorry. We didn't have to hit that switch. I always assumed that switch was mandatory. That makes this part... Uh-oh. May have spoken too soon. Let's see. Yup. Dang it. Spoke too soon. And then elevators don't want to cooperate with you. Well, Knight, this is again, it's more to set a baseline time. Like, my thing lately has been, I want people to speedrun everything, because every game is super cool, for one reason or another, despite what people say. And a lot of the older games, nobody has ever thought to speedrun them because they forget that they're around. So, like, this time will be a world record, just because no one else has a time. Now, I'm not going to vehemently defend that record and be like, I'm the best Incredible Hulk player ever. It's like, no. If you come along and you have knowledge and you're good at this game and you liked it growing up, play it. Like, beat me. Knock my time off, please. But in the meantime, you gotta do stuff to motivate people sometimes, and I feel like that does it. So, like, with, there's a game called WWF, King of the Ring, and I put up a speedrun for it. In the week following, nobody had ever run the game. In the week following, two guys started getting into like a back and forth with each other over the record for the game. Now, both of them were faster than me, but it was just cool that it got people to speedrun the game that hadn't been before. And that's what I'm doing with, like, my goal is by the end of 2018 to have 50 quote-unquote world records. I say quote-unquote because when you say world record, it makes it sound like you take it super seriously. And I don't. This guy's horrible when he wants to be a jerk. There we go. He gets into these smaller arenas and he's just terrible. Because he can throw uppercuts faster than you can do anything. Alright, we're good. Well, if you like that, Knight, then you will love it here, because the games that I've got my times in so far are nothing at all. Oh wait, gotta hit a switch somewhere. The games that I have my records in are nothing at all like the basics. Like you said, like Mario 2 or Ninja Gaiden. And there's something really neat about that. There's something really cool to not having anybody develop any tech yet. So where you're kind of like, I guess it's up to me to figure out some of the things I need to do. And in some instances, there's like one or two other people that run it. And then your goal is to just kind of bite their style. Go. The boss of this world is also a giant pushover. I see what they were going for to make him difficult, but he's just not. Thought the game froze for a second. But yeah, the biggest thing someone could do to speedrun this game and do it very quick, the game's never done quick. You're right. The biggest optimization in this game would be to figure out how to consistently get his sprint, which I've only done once. So there's a move you're supposed to do throughout the entirety of the game, and I've only gotten it to work once on SNES. And in a normal run of this, you do it like 50 times. But because nobody's run it, I'm just like, I don't know. And it's a good game to take out, like, your frustrations of the day, because you just run up and punch things. So, like this guy. I think his name is Changeling. That's what someone was telling me. There was an actual, like, Incredible Hulk fan that was watching this run the other night, and he was able to give me some of the lore on who some of these bosses were, and, like, why they were doing what they were doing. But, like, when you're a boss with a ball on a chain, all I have to do is walk away from you and you can't hit me. I mean, I'll give him this. He's buff for an old guy. Alright, so he touched the stone pillar and turned into stone. And so he's trying to hit us as, like, Concrete Man. So we beat him up. And he's got good health because he's made of stone. You know how it is. So we punch him a bunch of times. He runs over here. He's going to grab the wood panel and turn into Woodman. No copyright infringement there. And we beat him up again. He doesn't have as much health as he had last time. Still got a fair amount, though. And keep an eye on that time. It's not like these are super free if you're playing it casually and you're not really sure what to do. Because, like, this is not taking any damage and hitting him almost immediately. Now, this is where he makes his mistake. He can turn into glass, become Glass Man. Well, he tried. Level complete. Now, we move to this level, which is also very weird, because I don't know what reason there is for him being here. Oh, Absorbing Man, thank you. You are absolutely right, Knight. And I'm sorry I forgot that. Like I said, I'm not very up on my lore for the Incredible Hulk. Because I just found this game the other day and did a couple, like, practice runs of it. Realized how cool it was. Or how much I liked it, anyway. Let's see, I think if you go down here... I went too low for the kidneys. Wait. I might be walking into a trap. No. You can get through the level this way. Okay. Cool. I thought that was the one part where you have to hit one of the danglies, and when you hit that dangly, it just throws you into a pit. That's where I thought I was going. Don't know if that's going to be good. No, probably not. Actually, it was. Oh, I thought we were going to Hulk up again. So, those pills, if you hit select, you turn Hulk into Bruce Banner. And then for one hit. And then he turns back after that one hit. And I'm sure there's a use to it in the game. I just haven't figured it out yet. Because again, I'm kind of like doing this on my own. So it becomes a lot of, you know, you play the cards that you know will get you farther. It's not even really the hand you're dealt. It's more like Uno. Like, you'll play the cards that you know work. You mean the bouncer, Skip? And I ran the bouncer the other day. We got the New Game Plus record with Co. Because I'm thinking about submitting it to AGDQ. I just have to actually do that. That's going to depend on how my teeth feel tomorrow. Yeah, it was crazy, Skip. I lost a world record pace run because I didn't know that... I had forgotten because it's been so long since I ran the game. I forgot that after the final boss, when you play with this one character, there's another fight. And so I stopped the timer, started celebrating the world record, watched the end credits instead of skipping them, and then realized that I had just wasted 4 minutes prematurely celebrating. I do know this guy's name. This guy's Abomination. So I have been learning a little bit about the lore. I thought that this looked like a cross between Aquaman and Michael B. Jordan, aka Black Panther. But then I was told that no, this is not in fact a cross between Black Panther and Aquaman. It is Abomination. Who seems like he might be like a Sabretooth to like the Incredible Hulk's Hulk. Do I need another one-up? I don't know. Like I said, I died on the last jump of this game the last time I ran it. So I'm getting all the safety lives and things that I can possibly get because I want to finish. I don't know why you wouldn't. Like, Skip, you 10,000% should. No, I didn't submit it to Speedrun Fails. I should have. I was still... Because the problem is, it requires too much exposition. That's the biggest thing about it. Like, there's a lot of background to that story, like why I stopped the timer, why the run dies. And I feel like it would get lost. It's not as simple as, oh, this person died. Lol, that's hilarious. Dude, jump. There you go. Is that all that's back here? I think so. Because people would just think that I prematurely stopped the timer or something, and then they're like, well, you can just go back and retime it. And it's like, no, it's more complicated than that. By the way, you're seeing lots of little duodenums that I'm passing up, or just little danglies that I'm passing up. That's because if you hit some of those, they will kill you. Whoa. Gotta be in the final boss over there. We made it to the boss. Mother Brain. And then I died immediately again. I did that in my other run too. Like, the game eats your jump input. Okay, this boss is supposed to be harder than all get out, but it's actually probably the easiest boss ever. So, if you try and run through the brain, and the brain, like, pincers in on you like that, you take damage almost every frame that you're there. It just destroys you. But if you get behind it, for some reason they never put in its script, go all the way back to the wall. So you can't get hit back here. And you just follow behind it closely enough and get your punches in that way. And this is the actual final boss of the game, which, if you're a Hulk fan, probably isn't surprising to you. Cool. So we've got 6 lives heading into the last world. Now, the final Abomination was what killed me in my other run. For some reason, I could not take him down. And there are some things in this level that, like, you take a lot of damage in this level. Especially when you get kind of stuck like that. I hate having to stop and fight enemies in this game, but those ones you just do. So this is gonna be a similar strat to my Super Mario 2 strat, wherein I'm just gonna be trying to not die. The plan is to get to checkpoints before you die, and use the rest of your lives to get somewhere good. Which with these little suckers following you around is much easier said than done. Because they do pretty good damage to you, but we got through. Because you see there, their shots like hone in on you. So we're down. We're down. This is the first time we've been our boy, BB, this whole run. Which typically means the run's going well. Abusing kind of a little glitch there where you can get those little guys stuck on the ceiling. He made it to a checkpoint. He did his job. I learned this the other day. He can crawl, which means he can crawl under those shots. And actually be pretty close to the real MVP. He's doing very well. No health, though. Oh, he almost made it up! He almost made it up! Okay, that's why the run died last time as well. I did that on purpose. I'm transforming into him to crawl. That first block, if you brush up against it to try and buffer or anything, you die. It's a one-hit kill, instantaneous, nothing you can do about it. And so that's a good way to throw away a good life that you just held on to for most of the run. For no reason other than the game just feels like being astronomically cheap. So because of that, I'm gonna kinda resort to some safety here. Yep, the game just eats your jump, so you get stuck again. Right, there we go. So that's how one death turned into two. And things like that can very easily just end your run on lives. Because we're not that far away from the end of the game. These jumps are terrible, but if you get through these, you're getting pretty close to the end. Now, the top part of this level just depends on the cycle you get on. Because all of these platforms rotate at different cycles. And if you get in on a bad one, you're climbing back up again. Okay, we made it. I'm actually going back down. I'm making the most out of these pills. So if he gets hit in the air, he doesn't turn back. It's the first time you get hit on the ground. That's interesting too. Or if you're crouched, it doesn't work. There it is. Huh. That was very odd the way that decided to work. And it's something that I bet could be exploited. Trying to be very careful here. Yeah, because as you can see, if you don't get to damage boost through that guy, he just hits you every time you jump, and there's nothing you can do about it. Just go, dude. Just go. Just go. Okay. Yep. He gets 2 shots, and that's it. And you can tell that clearly the game is broken because now you just die. Like, you just die there. Whereas in the Genesis version of this game, you get Abomination trapped under that awning, and you shoot him to death. But in the SNES game, you have to resort to this fake walking away to try and manipulate his AI into running at you instead of jumping, which is hard enough to do. And then hope you live through the fight with enough HP to do something meaningful for the rest of the game. So that's the last time we fight Abomination. Actually getting really close to the end. And that switch that you saw, that I contemplated hitting and decided against, is another example of something in this game that just tries to rip you off. If you hit that, it activates the floor panels. So you end up killing yourself and you don't even know it. That thing that just did all of that damage to us. I was gonna say, if we can get one more hit on him, that's all we would have needed to be guaranteed end of the game. We're still almost... Oh, we were almost there! Which is okay, because we've still got the extra lives, and we're on the other side of the Abomination. But that's where I game overed last time, and that is literally one jump away from the final boss. I cannot stress that enough. We have to hit that one rotating platform, jump up, and then it's the final boss. And you might remember I said earlier that the brain was the real final boss. Yep, we're gonna get stuck again. Down one of them. Can't down the second one. Okay, there we go. Now it's just about all that platforming you come to expect from a game called The Incredible Hulk. Nope. And that one drops right onto that platform, too. If you miss any of those platforms, they drop you onto an electric plate. Spin, spin, spin. Spin. Jump, thank you. I think we might have it. Unless in the Super Nintendo version, the final boss actually fights back. Level complete. We did it. We did it, we did it, we did it. The leader scoffs at the might of the Incredible Hulk, further angering the already enraged Green Behemoth. Oh, oops. Apparently I skipped the end of the storyline, but... Ta-da! We did it! So we'll enjoy the credits rolling here. And I'll find somebody for us to raid. Well, Knight, it's because there was a dude who is really into the Incredible Hulk who explained this to me. The brain, that crazy hard boss, is the actual final boss. because the brain is the mastermind of the entire operation. So then when you get to the final boss, you realize, oh, it was the brain that was the mastermind all along. Shoutouts to Jermaine, Nat, Dan, and Griff, I think that said. Oh, Skip, dude, I'm already feeling better, man. The adrenaline of getting to hang out with you guys and have a good time. Although I wish my camera had been, like, more, maybe that all night, but that's nitpicky. We had such a good night tonight. Just everybody hanging out. And it was so much fun. It was exactly what I needed, and that's why you stream, man. You got your friends and all that good stuff. I'm not gonna get too sappy with you, but we've made some new friends tonight too. Night's awesome, and I got your game requests written down as well, Night. So that's good too. Guy was texting me about a news story that is not really news and also old. Oh boy, let's see who is on. Oh, Oofta's on. I have never gotten to raid Oofta. He's playing Gears of War 4, but cool guy. Yeah, just never had a chance to really cross paths with him other than talking to him constantly on Discord. So that's super cool. All right, I'm gonna wait for these to finish up. I'm noticing that Eamon Barr's name coming up a lot. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Is this looping and I haven't been paying attention? I think this is looping and I haven't been paying attention. Alright, I'm gonna start remembering some of these. We got original sound. Level design. Yeah, so playtesting would have to come back around. Producer. Probe. Probe sounds like they'd be owned by EA now. US Gold, Steve Fitton. Okay, yeah, this is looping. Ha! Whoops-a-daisy.